Hello my dear viewers, it's a morning this side. Morning to you, how are you? So today I woke up early in the morning and I decided to visit my brother at his tree planting site in the garden. So as you can see right now, I'm in the garden and I've just found him weeding, and we all know that weeding is the removal of plants from where they are not wanted. So in today's video, I want to share with you little knowledge about safety measures when going to the garden. I want to share with you so that you can be able to know some types of trees. You can be able to know which seasons are you supposed to do farming. In case your land is not fertile, what should you do? So all that is going to be in this video. Remember to subscribe and like for more. Hope you continue with the video, my dear viewer and my dear subscriber. So let's ride this. Hello my dear viewers, as how I told you that today I came early in the morning to visit my brother at his tree planting site. So in this video I told you that we are going to know the safety measures, what you do when you're coming to the garden and what you should not do. Then we are also going to know some types of trees, and also in case your soil is not fertile, what should you do. So allow me to let my brother introduce himself. Thank you.
Yes, hello dear viewers on my Taylor. This is Mahango Harir, teacher by profession, still a farmer, located here in Kasese, Bwera, in Chanzi. I know some of you may be knowing that place, Chanzi. That is the village where my tree plantation is. It has been an investment all along since my primary 7. I think you can go with that.
Okay, so my dear viewers, let's cut short this introduction and we go to what brought us here. Now, as how you can see, we are at his tree plantation site. So, my dear brother, which types of trees are these?
These ones, most of them, they are eucalyptus trees.
And what are eucalyptus trees mostly used for?
Mostly they're used for extraction of timber, for constructing these permanent buildings, whereby we get most of them, they provide the hardwood, though we have mahogany that provide the strongest hardwood timber. But though these ones also can be used, since most of the people in town, they normally come here, they normally buy from this place to go and get timber. So actually they produce hardwood timber. That's what I can say about
So
it.
they can also produce
hardwood they timber. Can produce hardwood timber.
So which type of trees produce hardwood timber?
Mahogany.
And where can mahogany be found?
Mahogany, in most cases, they are found in volcanic soils. And here we don't have volcanic soils. Most especially they are planted in Congo, on the slopes of Mount Elgon. So here, in case you bring mahogany, it may not yield up properly.
Okay. So I think my dear viewers have heard about that, the types of trees here, eucalyptus, and still they have some hardwood in them, and most carpenters around Kasese use them in making furniture. But still, mahogany is the best quality, as we all know, and mahogany, as how you are saying that they are found in soils?
In volcanic soils.
Volcanic soils, yes. They are found in volcanic soils. Is it side of Mavira?
Mavira Mbale, then Congo.
Yes. So I think you've known that. Now, I've seen you're weeding. And I want to know what's weeding.
Weeding, in brief, weeding, this is the removal of plants grown where they're not wanted.
Plants
grown where they're not wanted.
They are not wanted.
Yeah.
So, the removal of plants grown where they're not wanted. Now, what's the reason of weeding?
The reason of weeding, one, weeds, they have disadvantages in the garden. One, as you can see, they're also like other plants. They need nutrients for them to grow. So it means once you leave them in the garden, it means they will compete with the main crops in the garden.
Yes.
Of course, they will also want to grow tall as the plants, looking for sunlight. They also want some soil nutrients from the ground. So it means they will affect the growth of the main plants in the garden. So that's why you normally cut out weeding, so that these main plants can utilize the soil nutrients and the available nutrients at large.
Now, when I was in secondary, they used to tell us that in trees, okay, like tall trees, let's say even if you're having maize, there are types of crops that you plant is it underneath?
Yeah.
Underneath. So right now you're weeding. Are you going to plant in this tree plantation? you're going to plant underneath, or you're weeding for the tall trees so that they don't compete for the nutrients with the weeds, as how you've said, or you're going to do planting.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. When it comes to that one is called intercropping, whereby you plant minor crops alongside major crops.
Right.
So our major crops right now, they are these plants, these trees. So these trees, as you can see, they are 8. Right now, we are not in the planting season. The planting season is in January and February. So that's when we are supposed to plant. That now we are weeding so that the plants or the nutrients utilized by these weeds, they can be regained back in the soil. So that as we reach January, then we can start now planting very well. As to why, maybe you'll see the view, you show the viewers, when you look at the nature of the weeding we are doing, we are not digging deeply in the ground. We are just trying to erase all those plants on the surface. Reason being, we are not going to plant now. But if we are supposed to plant, we would have dug inside properly so that we try to put that soil that is underneath to bring it on top. That one on top, it goes underneath. Yes, that's why we're just trying to erase all those ones on top. We're just erasing them. Reason being, we are preparing for the next season, the next planting season.
So, in short, what you're meaning is that these weeds are going to act as manure.
As manure, thank you.
And which type of manure is this?
This type of manure that we get from plant remains is what we call farmyard manure.
Then those from animals?
Those from animals are organic.
Organic.
Yeah, organic.
Okay, so I think, my dear viewers, you're able to listen. This type of weeding, it gives you, is it farmyard?
Yeah, it gives farmyard
it
manure.
gives you farmyard manure. This type of weeding, in case you leave it in the garden, it can provide manure, which is farmyard. Then the remains from the animals, that's
Cow
to say the
dung.
what? Yes, the cow dung gives you organic. So another question that I wanted to ask you:
Yes, please.
which seasons do you usually do planting, and during which season do you do harvesting?
And well, no, when it comes to maybe planting the minor crops, because these trees for them, you know, they take long to manure, to mature. So when it comes to these other small plants, you know, we have two dry seasons and 2 wet seasons. And we know that we normally plant in the wet season and we harvest in the dry season. And a season lasts for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. So that's why when you count a year, we have 12 months. So it means we have the first 6 months, we have 1 dry and 1 wet. Then the last 6 months, we have also the dry and the wet. So in a year, we have 2 planting seasons and 2 harvesting seasons. Like in January, February, up to mid-March, we are planting. Then when it comes to April, we are going to harvest. April, May, we harvest. When it comes to around August, we again plant. August, September, October. Then when it comes to November and December, people always harvesting. Yeah, so that's how we are saying we have 2 dry and 2 wet seasons. The wet season, mainly it is for planting, then the dry, mainly for harvesting. And why do we harvest in the dry season? We harvest in the dry season so that maybe the plants that we get, we can easily and dry them, we keep them for the future use. Yeah.
So for the next months when plantation will be done again?
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that I wanted to ask, it's about the cost of living. Okay, before that, let's first know what challenges do you farmers in Kasese, in Bwera, face, especially during, I think, let's first tackle during the planting season, which is the wet season. Then after we shall go to the dry season. So let's tackle first the wet season. What are the challenges you face, especially during the wet season now?
Okay, well, thank you for that question. I think when it comes to the wet season, you know, wet season is characterized by rainfall.
Yes.
But however, though we are requesting for rainfall, but sometimes it becomes too much. Then you find that even plants, instead of growing, they are getting rot from where? From the gardens. Then point 2, it comes to storms. You find that we are receiving good weather, but find that it is full of storms. Or you receive rainfall full of ice and it destroys all the leaves. For example, you can see maybe when it comes to these banana plantations, they normally destroy those leaves, and once they are destroyed, it means you harvest nothing. Then point 2, when it comes to that, then there is the issue of soil erosion in the rainy season. Soil erosion.
When there's running water.
Yeah, flowing water. So it means in case you don't tap that water properly, it may end up, your garden may end up being a flooding area or a flooding zone for the rainwater.
It may erase all the plants.
Yeah, all the plants, or even the garden may be waterlogged. You find that the plants, there are some plants that grow in much water, and there are others that do not require all that water.
So you mean due to the excess water, some plants may fail to
grow,
and this may then,
for instance, cassava, as you know, cassava, all the bean plants. So once your garden is not all well that organized properly in the way that maybe when you try to do, there is what we call mulching. There is what we call to dig some trenches, maybe aside of the garden, where to tap that flowing water, not to enter into your garden. So all those are measures that you put in place whenever we enter the rain season, so that your garden should be free from all of those hindrances.
Now, before going into the dry season, the challenges that you face, I want you to ask you a question. During the wet season, are there pests?
During the wet season?
Yes.
In most cases, they are there.
Yes.
They are there.
And which pests are those?
Most especially when it comes to the wet season, we have these squirrels. You know, when there is wet season, the ground becomes very soft for these rodents to dig the ground. So that's it becomes soft for them to easily dig the ground. Most of them they feed on these tuber crops, the cassava, we have the potatoes, all of those carrots and so on.
So another question that I usually ask, hens, the chicken, the hens, are they pests?
Hens. Yeah, hens are pests. Even us human beings are pests. Only that for us, maybe for us, we have a word that we normally call ourselves when it comes to that. We call ourselves vermins. Vermins. These are big animals that destroy plants. For instance, as human beings. For instance, when it comes to maybe maize plantation, people tend to come and steal. They come and destroy sugarcane. They come and cut. So those are the pests we are talking of. The vermins, big animals. Then the pests, these are just small animals that destroy plants. But the vermins are those bigger animals like human beings. We come to elephants. They're called the vermins, not pests.
Now I think you've got that, my dear viewers. Now, going back to what we came to talk about, we have just completed the challenges that you face during the wet season. Now, let's tackle what challenges do you face during the dry season?
The dry season. Okay, during the dry season, when it comes to the dry season, sometimes we experience a longer period of dry season, whereby you find that the ground loses its nutrients. Sometimes, whenever we end the rain season, it is not advised maybe to immediately weed the garden. You have to leave it so that it can regain the lost fertility, what we call shift cultivation. And you leave it to rest so that it can gain its fertility. That's why we are trying to do this weeding, so that we can leave it as it gains its fertility. When we reach the plantation in January or February, then by the time we grow our plants, then they will grow with ease. So when it comes to the challenges in the dry season, one, we have the pests. That means the plants are now ready for harvesting. It means, of course, the pests, for instance, the monkeys, they will come and do what? They will come and try to take away the plants while they have grown. So pests, number one. Then point number two is all about the storage facilities now in the harvesting. Once you harvest, you have to store the crops. The storage facilities, in most cases, here in Wera, we don't have, mainly we don't have the silos where we keep grains and cereals. So what do we do? For us, we do it manually. After sun drying, just keep it in the house. But in case we have the silos, it means it would be better for us to achieve that challenge of the storage facilities. Yeah. Then another point, maybe when it comes to the dry season, it's all about the mode of harvest. How do we harvest? Sometimes, different plants have got different ways of harvesting. For instance, when it comes to cassava, in cassava we uproot by the use of the hoe. So sometimes when you don't use the hoe properly, you may end up destroying. The reason being the soils are always hard. So sometimes when you're harvesting, it becomes a challenge. So you need to look at the mode of harvesting. Which type of harvesting are you going to use so that you harvest your plants properly from the garden? Yeah.
So another question that I would want to ask you is, what's the cost of living after you harvesting? And I know after harvesting, you need to sell what you've harvested, to the market center or to the marketplaces. So the money that you earn after selling, how does it influence your cost of living?
Okay, thank you for that good question. When it comes to the cost of living for farmers, it is all not that good. Yes, for us, we live a low profile. In the way that the money we get, we have different problems and different ways how we use our money. Though for us, we call it hard-earned money, hard. Human being, we put a lot of efforts to get it. Sometimes when it comes to the money we get after harvesting, after selling the produce, one, it is about sustaining the families we have. Then point two, educating maybe the brothers, the siblings you have. Then another point, then of course you have to keep some upkeep for the next season. Because you cannot spend the whole money. Then will come the next season, the next planting season, you fail even to buy the plants you're going to grow back in the garden. Maybe to buy fertilizers, maybe to buy this and that. So of course, when it comes to that, though we don't get good money, but at least we also plan for it. And farming, it is becoming one of the major activities we're doing here in this town. Yeah, because it has educated even me, my father. By the time I was still studying, he used to take us to the garden. We do just a digging, we harvest. Why was he doing that? He was doing that to show us where he was getting money from. So that in the near future, by the time we also grow up, we should not think that maybe money just pick it up from the roadside. So that's why we are also trying to copy from what our parents used to do, so that we also sustain ourselves in the near future. Yeah.
Okay, now I want to give you this kind of picture.
Yeah.
Let's say that you're planted during the wet season. Then you find out that you expected rain to be around February, but it didn't. Yet you've already planted. Now, that means that there will be failure of what? Of growth of the plants.
Yes.
That leads to a loss of the whole season. Yet you've carried out weeding, you've put in effort, you've brought people to do the digging, to plant the seeds. Then later on, you find out the rain has rained like for 1 week, then it stops. That means that there will be a loss. So how do you copy up with that? Does the government provide some money for that to the farmers so that you can be able to compensate and you improve on your standard of living, or the government does not support? So if the government does not support, that means that there's a big loss that you face, because still you have to try the next season. So I've given you that picture. I don't know if you've got it, but I want you to tell me, in case that happens, what's your plan B?
Okay. Thank you for that wonderful question. Well, I'll begin with the government, issue with the government. No, the government does things with procedures. So for you to maybe to encounter a loss just one season, then you think the government will come and run to help you to use your receiving a season. Before the government even coming to you, they will first ask questions. What have you put in place, you as a farmer, before the government giving in a helping hand? Of course, you know that when we don't receive rain season, as a modernized farmer, we have to do what we call irrigation. Irrigation does not mean that maybe you have to maybe be near maybe a river, or a water source, river, lake, and whatever. So with irrigation, you can use different ways of irrigation. One, we have this what we call drip irrigation. With the drip irrigation, what do you do in drip irrigation? We have these waste materials that people normally throw along the way, these plastic bottles. These plastic bottles, once you have grown, you can bring them, you can utilize them in your garden. I think maybe even 27 uses this in his model farm. He uses these plastic bottles, then he puts water in them, then puts a simple hole. Then that hole keeps on dropping water in the garden. Maybe you can find that he makes a line, then goes on hanging those bottles. So he gets someone to come and keep pouring water in them. So water keeps on, you normally look at the drip when someone is sick.
Moves out in drops.
Yeah, in drops. That's what called drip irrigation. Then, well, in case you are near a river, then of course that one will be better. Yeah, you just channel, or you can use pipes to carry water from the main source of water. Then it can sprinkle out in your garden. Whereby, for example, we have the Mubuku We have Ruvona. All those are garden farms. Those are farms where people use irrigation. They don't all receive all that good rainfall, but for them, their main source of water is through irrigation system.
So in short, what you're meaning is that if irrigation is put into place, you're not supposed to be concerned about the wet season.
The wet season.
You can be able to plant.
You can plant. That's why right now, in case you go to Mobuku, they have fresh beans. They have fresh beans. Even during the dry season, they have fresh beans. So for them, they don't encounter losses when it comes to farming. Right now, in case you go there, you'll find carrots, you'll find pineapples, you'll find onions, you'll find everything. Why? For them, they don't depend on rainfall. They have good irrigation system.
So this is where the question was coming in the picture that I gave you, is that these farmers, those people at Muvuku, I hear that Muvuku is funded by the government.
Partly.
But remember that the money that these farmers get when doing after the harvesting, they pay some little amount to the what?
The government
to the government. So that means that for them, in case of anything, the government provides. Because the government knows that these farmers will also provide in form of taxes. And these taxes are the taxes that are helping them. So in whatever situation, I know that the government will have to do what? In case there is failure in the irrigation system, the government will send the engineers to come and they fix it. Which is not to these people like you, the common people who don't have that money, but still you find out that these local farmers are still paying taxes to the government. And that's why I was saying that in case it's a planting season and you find out that rain has failed, that means that there's losses. Now, you, the lower income earners, yet you're supposed again to pay taxes. Why doesn't the government help you? I know the government may have created circles where you farmers can be and you earn the money from, or you get some little loans. So that's where my question is: you low income earners, the farmers, you're not like those people of Muvuku who are earning like every month.
In brief, is your question like how do we earn from the government, or
no? Does the government help you in case there's losses, especially during the wet season? You find out that you expected there is going to be a wet season, but after 1 week, rain stops. That means that you're going to have losses. So how does the government help you? Does the government really help you?
Okay, thank you. I think it will depend. It will depend in case maybe if that problem is a national problem, nationwide, maybe regional-wide. You may find that maybe in western region, it's where we're not receiving rainfall, but in northern where people are receiving good rainfall. Then, for instance, when it comes to that, then it means the government, since we pay taxes to the government when we sell our produce and whatsoever, you know, the government has different organizations. For example, NADS. NADS is an organization whereby provides free planting seedlings to farmers through their groups and maybe through their chairpersons. And we all know that NADS, the chairperson of NADS is from Kasese, that is Dr. Christopher Kionga. Is from Kasese, and in case you have an organization as farmers, a group, when you register with NADS, they give you free planting materials. For example, they may give you maybe free beans, free maize, free everything that you need, free of charge, supported by the government.
So that means that the government does support the farmers.
Yeah, but the issue of saying that maybe they will send engineers, they will send what to these local people, the commoners, I think I've never seen that happen.
But do they send, like, let me say, workers? Those people are experts, teach you on what to do.
Of course, they may do that. They may do that in case they find that maybe if it's a nationwide problem. But if it's not nationwide, like maybe if it is only affecting Wera, that one, of course, it does not need intervention of the government.
Okay. So I think you're able to hear what my brother has said, who is a farmer. Mahangwari has told you everything. So the government literally it does support the people, but it does support the people when the thing is nationwide or regional-wide. So if at all it's specifically in some area and the other areas have already, like, the planting has prospered, that means that they won't be able to help you. So that's a loss, of course, and we all know that in all businesses you're supposed to know that there is a loss. So that may be a loss. So going back to our topic, another thing that I wanted to ask you is that in case the soil is not fertile and the planting season is due to occur, or it's like 1 month to, what do you do? What are farmers watching you now supposed to do in case their soil is not that fertile and yet they are proceeding to the next season of planting?
Thank you. Okay. When it comes to that, I think we have different type of fertilizers, whereby we have natural fertilizers and artificial fertilizers. When it comes to natural fertilizers, of course, we have the palm yard, we have the organic. All those ones can be applied in the garden, so that by the time you reach the planting season, the fertilizer has already been accumulated by the soil. Then also you allow even distribution of the fertilizer in the ground. You know, sometimes when you apply these fertilizers, you may think you're applying in the soil, kumbe it remains on top. So then when it comes to the artificial fertilizers, for them I think we come to the issue of the industry. Whereby we have the NPK, we have the double, we have the SSS. So all those ones, they are used so that they are used to on the ground, so that the ground can accumulate them, can accommodate the fertilizers inside them. Then by the time you plant the crops, already the soil is fertilized. Then you waiting for it to plant, then you apply fertilizers on the plants when they already grow in the gardens. So my farmers who are there and who are watching this video, it is good to make sure that you first apply fertilizers in the garden, so that the soil can easily consume the fertilizer. By the time you reach the planting season, then your plants, even if you don't apply the fertilizers on the plants, you know, sometimes farmers do apply, you just pour fertilizers on the plants, whereby the fertilizer is supposed to be used by the ground.
Okay, so another thing is that during the wet season, as I know, my dear viewers and my dear subscribers watching me now, I've heard that you plant. So you're planting, and you find out that the stage at which your crops are, they are due to germination. Okay, let me not say due to germination. They are just like 1 month to be ready for what? For harvesting. Yes. Now, there is shortage of rainfall. What are the measures that you as a farmer can take?
Okay, you know, you're saying 1 month towards harvesting,
Yes.
and there is shortage of rainfall. Of course, since you are towards harvesting, of course, you know, sometimes it does not mean when it comes to the planting season, it does not mean that we shall need rainfall from day one up to day last. The rainfall that we'll need is moderate, not too much and not too low. So it should be moderate. For instance, you may find that it has been raining and the water, maybe the ground is too wet. So maybe that 1 month, crops can grow very well. Reason being, the ground is already having water. So what do we need in the rainy season? In the rainy season, what do we need? One, we only pray to God that maybe can give us rainfall like this week, rainfall. The other week, like we don't receive rainfall like 2 to 3 days. So that water that is in the soil can be regained or can be utilized by the plants. It doesn't mean that every day we should receive rainfall from the first month, the second month. No, it's not what we need. It should be moderate. Because in case it is too high, of course, also plants will not grow.
So, my dear subscribers and my dear viewers now watching, and if at all you have not yet subscribed, please remember to click that red button below so that you can be able to subscribe and you watch more videos of Naim Taylor. So I think this is the video then and then, but before the video I want also to do some weeding so that I see me, Naim Taylor, can be able to do the weeding. Because you never know, I may become a farmer one day, or someone might ask me what should I do, but I've got...
Oh, may you own a farm one day?
Yes.
And of course, we should have the knowledge of doing what?
True, even you, my dear viewer, my dear subscriber, you can be able to own a farm on your own. And you remember that Naim Taylor once uploaded a video of farming, and you watch it. So I'm going to do some weeding, which is the remove of plants that are not wanted in the garden.
Mm.
So I think let me show you how I'm going to do the weeding. So my dear viewers, as how I told you that I'm going to do some weeding by myself, this is the hoe. The hoe, it's sharp here. But you're not supposed to go in the garden with this, or the way I'm dressed now. But I want to do some weeding. So my brother showed me, as how I've showed you in the recent video, he was doing some weeding. So I also want to do one. So you hold the hole like this, then this leg, you leave it a little bit behind, then you start. I'm already getting tired, but let me do for like 1 minute. My dear subscribers and my dear viewers, this is hard work. I'm already tired. I don't know if it's because of the outfit, I'm not comfortable with it, but it's hard work. That's how my brother told you that they earn money from hard work. This is hard work. So if you're a student or you have a dad or mom doing farming, just know that they do, or they earn their money from hard work. So please don't misuse the money they give you to do other things. Concentrate on what their goals are for you, so that you can be able to become a successful person or become an important person in the future. So this is the video then and then. I am Chela for you every day. Remember to subscribe, like for more. Thank you.